There's something inherently magical about hitting the open road with the wind in your hair, your favorite playlist blasting, and a map, or GPS, marking destinations you've always dreamed of visiting. My epic road trip across the USA turned out to be not just a journey across states, but a transformative adventure filled with breathtaking sights, vibrant cultures, and unforgettable experiences. Here's how it unfolded, state by state. East Coast beginnings, New York to Washington, D.C. I started my journey in the iconic city of New York, wandering through Central Park, taking in the view from the top of the Empire State Building, and catching the morning light on the Brooklyn Bridge reminded me why this city is a global icon. But the highlight was grabbing a bagel and coffee before heading south. The road to Washington, D.C. was smooth, with a quick detour to Philadelphia, where I indulged in a Philly cheesesteak and visited the Liberty Bell. In D.C., I explored the Smithsonian Museums, stood in awe of the Lincoln Memorial, and strolled along the National Mall as the sun set, casting a golden glow over the Capitol building. The Blue Ridge Parkway, nature's canvas. Leaving the cityscapes behind, I drove into the rolling hills of Virginia to take on the Blue Ridge Parkway, often called America's favorite drive. This scenic highway wove through lush forests and misty mountains, offering stunning overlooks at every turn. Stops included Shenandoah National Park, where I hiked part of the Appalachian Trail, and Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina, where I braved the mile-high swinging bridge. The small towns along the way, like Asheville, provided charming pit stops with quirky cafes, craft breweries, and warm southern hospitality. Deep South charm. Nashville to New Orleans. From North Carolina, I headed west to Nashville, the beating heart of country music. The city was alive with music, from street performers on Broadway to live shows at the Grand Ole Opry. A visit to the Country Music Hall of Fame offered a deep dive into the genre's rich history. The next leg of the journey took me to New Orleans, a city bursting with culture and flavor. Exploring the French Quarter felt like stepping into another world, with its vibrant jazz clubs, colorful balconies, and the intoxicating aroma of Creole cuisine. Of course, I couldn't leave without savoring beignets at Café du Monde and taking a steamboat cruise down the Mississippi River. The mighty Southwest, Texas to Arizona. Driving through Texas felt like entering a land of endless horizons. In Austin, I enjoyed live music and food trucks, while San Antonio's River Walk was a serene escape. Heading west, the landscape transformed dramatically into the arid beauty of the Southwest. Arizona greeted me with its crown jewel, the Grand Canyon. Words cannot describe the awe of standing at the edge of this natural wonder, watching the sun paint the canyon walls with hues of orange and red. Nearby, Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend were equally mesmerizing, with their surreal formations and stunning views. California dreaming. Crossing into California, I made my way to Los Angeles. The city offered a mix of glitz and grit, from strolling along the Hollywood Walk of Fame to catching the sunset at Santa Monica Pier. The Pacific Coast Highway, PCH, led me north, hugging the coastline with jaw-dropping ocean views. Stops included Big Sur, where rugged cliffs met crashing waves, and the charming town of Monterey, famous for its aquarium. I ended this leg in San Francisco, driving across the Golden Gate Bridge and exploring the historic streets of Alcatraz Island. The Wild West, Nevada and Utah. Next, I drove into the neon-lit desert of Las Vegas. While the casinos and shows offered plenty of excitement, the nearby Red Rock Canyon provided a stark contrast with its natural beauty. After a night of glittering lights, I was ready for more nature. Utah delivered in spades. The mighty 5 national parks, Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Arches, and Canyonlands, were a showcase of nature's artistry. From the towering cliffs of Zion to the delicate rock arches of Arches National Park, every stop left me speechless. A sunrise hike to Bryce Canyon's amphitheater was a spiritual experience, with its hoodoos glowing in the early light. Heading north, Wyoming and Montana. Heading north, I entered Wyoming, home to Yellowstone National Park. Watching Old Faithful erupt and spotting wildlife like bison and elk was like stepping into a nature documentary. Nearby, Grand Teton National Park offered jagged peaks reflected perfectly in alpine lakes, making it one of the most picturesque spots of the trip. Crossing into Montana, I explored Glacier National Park. Driving the Going to the Sun Road was a highlight with its dramatic cliffs, waterfalls, and panoramic views of untouched wilderness. Midwest Marvels, South Dakota, and Chicago. The journey east began with a stop at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, where the colossal carvings of past presidents stood as a testament to human ingenuity. Nearby, the Badlands National Park revealed its rugged beauty, with otherworldly landscapes that looked like another planet. In Chicago, I traded natural beauty for urban charm, walking along the Magnificent Mile, marveling at the Cloud Gate, the famous beam, and taking in views from the Willis Tower skydeck offered the perfect city escape. Northeast final, Niagara Falls, and Boston. As my epic road trip neared its final, I knew the journey wouldn't be complete without experiencing two of the Northeast's most iconic destinations, Niagara Falls and Boston. These final days brought together the raw power of nature and the rich tapestry of American history, leaving me with memories as vivid as the destinations themselves. Niagara Falls, nature's majesty. Driving into Niagara Falls, the first hint of the wonder ahead was the distant roar of the cascading water. When I finally stood at the edge of the falls, the sheer magnitude of this natural spectacle took my breath away. The Horseshoe Falls, with its unrelenting torrent of water plunging into the mist below, was mesmerizing. The vibrant rainbows created by the spray were an enchanting bonus, making every photograph feel like a postcard-worthy moment. No visit to Niagara Falls is complete without a ride on the Maid of the Mist. Donning the classic blue poncho, I boarded the boat and ventured close to the base of the falls. The experience was exhilarating, the cool mist against my face, the deafening roar of the water, and the sight of the powerful currents up close were unforgettable. It was a humbling reminder of nature's immense power and beauty. After the boat ride, I explored Goat Island, which offered stunning panoramic views of both the American and Canadian sides of the falls. A walk across the Rainbow Bridge provided another perspective, and as the day turned to evening, I stayed to witness the falls illuminated by colorful lights. The shimmering hues added a magical touch to an already awe-inspiring scene, making it a fitting farewell to one of nature's most impressive displays. Boston, a journey through history. Leaving the natural grandeur of Niagara Falls behind, I drove eastward to Boston, a city steeped in history and culture. As I entered the bustling streets, it felt like stepping back in time while being firmly planted in a modern metropolis. Boston's charm lay in its ability to seamlessly blend the two. The first stop was the Freedom Trail, a 2.5-mile red brick path that winds through the city's most historic landmarks. From Boston Common, the oldest public park in the United States, to Paul Revere's house and the Old North Church, the trail brought the story of America's fight for independence to life. Walking these historic streets, imagining the revolutionary events that unfolded here, was a deeply moving experience. Next, I made my way to Fenway Park, the beloved home of the Boston Red Sox and a cornerstone of American sports history. Even as a casual baseball fan, stepping into this historic stadium was thrilling. The atmosphere was electric, with fans passionately discussing games, and the iconic green monster towering over the outfield was a sight to behold. For a change of pace, I headed to Boston Harbor, where the shimmering water and lively waterfront provided a perfect backdrop for relaxation. A harbor cruise offered breathtaking views of the city skyline, and the fresh sea breeze was rejuvenating after a day of exploration. Back on shore, I indulged in some of Boston's renowned seafood. A steaming bowl of New England clam chowder and a buttery lobster roll were culinary highlights that perfectly captured the region's flavors. The Boston Public Garden offered a serene escape in the heart of the city. Walking among the beautifully landscaped gardens and iconic swan boats, I found a moment of quiet reflection on my incredible journey across the country. As the trip came to an end, I realized how fitting it was to conclude in Boston, a city that represents beginnings, both for the nation and for travelers seeking to explore its rich heritage. The blend of vibrant energy, historic significance, and coastal charm made Boston a perfect finale to my adventure. This epic road trip across the USA was a journey through diverse landscapes, vibrant cities, and incredible cultures. From the towering peaks of the Rockies to the serene beaches of California, and from the bustling streets of New York to the wild beauty of Utah's national parks, every mile brought new surprises. This adventure wasn't just about seeing the sights. It was about the stories, connections, and memories made along the way. If you've ever dreamed of exploring the vast beauty of the United States, there's no better way than hitting the open road.